This is Radio London. The time on the Pete Drummond Show is 11:30.
Wonderful Radio London. News around the clock.
And the dateline Monday, August the 14th, southwestern France, where earthquake tremors have been felt. One elderly woman is reported to have been killed in the village of Arret, which is on the Spanish border. 20 people were taken to hospital. Several of them had been seriously injured. The drunken driver. Home Secretary Roy Jenkins has issued a circular to the police force explaining a policeman's rights regarding the use of breathalyzer tests. Policemen cannot stop cars at random, but they can use the breathalyzer on any motorist involved in an accident. Motoring, it's reported that Minister of Power Mr. Marsh is being approached by several leading oil companies who are trying to obtain permission to increase the price of petrol. It's likely to go up by tuppence or threepence a gallon. Broadcasting, it's almost certain that the Marine Offences Bill, designed to stop offshore radio, will come into force tomorrow. As a result, Radio London will be closing down at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Gatwick Airport, Trans-Global Airways are reducing some of their fares to North America next year. A flight leaving early in August and not coming back until September will cost only £37 return. And the weather, damp and dull weather with heavy rain in places, is forecast for most districts today. It'll be rather cool with strong winds reaching gale force in some exposed areas. Tomorrow's weather is expected to be changeable. And that's the news at 11:30 on Radio London. The next news in 1 hour's time. And for the last time, Ed Stewart reporting. Damon. Let's go.
Fastest thing in the air.
Salt and vinegar, salt and vinegar. That's the taste for quick fried crisp. The taste to make you smack your lips. Salt and vinegar, the flavor you love best. Hit the grand old taste, the brand new white crisp. Salt and vinegar crisp.
Hey, have you tried Smith's Salt and Vinegar Crisps yet? You haven't? You must be living in a cave.
Now it's here from Smith Crisp, the flavor you love best. Oh, salt and vinegar, salt and vinegar. Smith Salt and Vinegar Crisp.
And my thanks to you, Ed Stewart, for the final newscast that you will ever do. He'll be back on the air, incidentally, at 12 o'clock, all the way through from 12 until 3. And don't forget, we got the Juicy Fruit show at 1:30 this afternoon. What women like natural men. Natural men use non-greasy Vitalis. Vitalis contains invisible V7 that keeps hair in place without grease. Vitalis. She feels your hair, not your hairdressing. Buy yourself a bottle.
Hi, this is Kenny Damon, and I'm awfully sorry to hear that Big L is going to have to close down. And I would like to thank all the fellows on the ship and in the staff of Radio London for being so kind and helping me in my career and doing so much to make my career whatever it has become in this country.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much indeed, Kenny Damon. Sorry, I didn't think you'd finished there, matey, but he had. Anyway, best of luck to you, mate, in your career.
Thinking ain't for me, no.
Paul Jones.
Thinking ain't for me, Thinking it ain't for me. Each of us an island, an undiscovered island. I wanna make the shore to find out about me. But though I keep on trying, I can't quite reach my island. The same goes for your land. We're prisoners of the sea. My land, the bear, I claimed it, 'cause my home ain't the sea. My land, alone and wonder, 'cause thinking ain't for me. No, thinking ain't for me. Thinking ain't for me, no, no, no. Thinking ain't for me, Thinking it ain't for me. One day instead of drifting, I'm gonna reach my island, and then I'll visit your land and claim you from the sea. My land, the better claim me, 'cause my home ain't the sea. My land is the only home, the only place to be, the place where I retreat. And I wonder why I bother to dip or roll and wonder. Y'all thinking ain't for me, no, thinking ain't for me. Thinking ain't for me, thinking ain't for me, thinking it ain't for me.
Well, I've heard some people say they didn't like that very much. I do. I think it's a fantastic song. It's by Paul Jones, his latest one called Thinking Ain't For Me. And there's just 19 and a half minutes left of the Pete Drummond Show for today.
Hey, what else can you bring back from abroad besides a super tan? Du Maurier Super King. That's what.
Super King!
When your friends see that longer-than-king-size cigarettes, they'll flip because they can't buy them in the UK. Super Kings are export only from ships and duty-free shops abroad.
Longer than king size, smoother than king size. Super King!
Same price as king-size, duty-free.
Next coming up will be Alan Blakely of the Tremolos to have a chat to you. But right now, here's some exciting news. If you want the best of Danish teak furniture at unbeatable prices, come to the special sales of the Danish teak furniture direct from Denmark, held every Sunday at 48 Hoxton Square, London, N1, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bargains, which must be seen to be believed, include a limited number of teak dining room suites comprising, I'm terribly sorry, I'm in full speed again, 6-foot sideboard, 4-foot dining table extending to 7 feet, and 4-panel back chairs, all for only 49.5 guineas. Can you beat that? Well, there are dining chairs from 75 shillings, dining tables from 11 guineas, 3-piece suites from 35.5 guineas, and these are only a few examples from our fantastic range. We'll deliver or save even more money by bringing your own transport. Goods can be stored free of charge until required. Don't forget now, Wharfside Furniture Supplies, 48 Hoxton Square, only 3 minutes from Old Street Tube Station, every Sunday 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for Danish teak furniture at less than wholesale prices, and by special request every Monday at 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Or you can telephone Shoreditch, SHO, Shoreditch, 6599. Please don't forget that Wharfside will hold a sale every Sunday and Monday throughout the year.
You're hearing things, you're hearing things on Wonderful Radio London. Hello, everybody.
This is Gary Brooker from Procol Harum, very much alive. Hoping to see you all 1:30 on Monday on the Juicy Fruit Spectacular. I'll be there.
Well, we'll see you as well at 1:30 on the Juicy Fruit Show. Don't forget to tune in.
Hello, this is Alan Blakely of the Tremolos. Alan Blakely of the Tremolos, take 1.
Hello, Alan Blakely of the Tremolos.
Hello, this is
taking
Alan
one?
Blakely of the Tremolos. And I'd like to say we're all flipping jokes about Radio London going off the air. As far as we're concerned, Radio London made us in the beginning. So I don't know what we're going to do now for listening to.
Well, thank you very much, Alan Blakely. And you can take 2 if you like. I don't mind. You want to take 2? No, he'll just take 1. You're not greedy, are you, mate? No. Well, he's taking 1 right now at number 1 on our Fab 40. The Trams and even the Bad Times ago. What a lovely bunch of fellows they are, even if they do take 1 or take 2. Well, they're at number 1 this week on our final week of the Fab 40, and we just got over 14 minutes left of the final Pete Drummond show for this morning. And by the way, if you're still in bed where you're pretty lazy, my advice is immediately
Time to get up, get out of bed. Get up and get ahead.
Right, don't lay around in bed. If you are, by the way, forced to lie in bed, well, my sympathies to you and to everybody who's ill today. Now, in answer to thousands of letters which we've received from listeners during the last few days, we've produced a special 45 disc featuring some of the great highlights of Big L so that you can hear the Radio London sound whenever you want in the months and years ahead. Get your Big L disc today. Send 12 and 6 to Radio London, 17 Curzon Street, London, W1.
Hi, this is Helen Shapiro. I've been listening to Big L now ever since it first came on the air, and I'm an enormous great fan of the station, both as an artist and as a listener. And I'd just like to say how very sorry I was to hear that it's coming off the air very soon. But however, I'd like to thank all the DJs and everybody concerned for all their support in the past years, and I'd like to wish them all the very best of luck in the future.
Helen Shapiro's latest one, She Needs Company. Lovely record, Helen, and thank you very much for saying all those nice things about us here on Radio London, and all the best to you in your future career.
Wherever you go with Big L. Go.
10 minutes before wrapping up time here, and Mum, hello Mum, open your own ice lolly factory. What do you mean, how? All you got to do is buy a packet of 10 Glenville's ice pots, put them in the ice box, and then you got to wait till they freeze. Shouldn't take long, and then, wow, watch your children attack those super fresh flavors, luscious orange, tingling lemon, and refreshing lime with exciting raspberry. Get your Glenville's fridge-freeze ice pots at all leading grocers. So come on, Mum, open your own ice lolly factory. It's cheaper that way, dear. Here's the latest one from the Isley or Isley brothers, whichever you prefer. And that's the way that love is.
When love is rising, everything's alright. But when it's gone, you toss and turn all night. Listen, girl, don't let it get the better of you. Girl, I've been had some love, yeah. Yes, I have. I know what you're going through. You wish that you were never born. Oh, what the hell? Now let it go and just remember.
Yeah, that's The Way That Love Is, from the Isley Brothers, their latest one on the Tamla label. It's a good record company, Tamla Motown. They've helped Big Al out of quite a lot with a lot of fabulous records.
Good morning, the world is bright and new.
Good old Berry Gordy.
And you'll be right with Big Al.
Got a message here from Mitch, our steward, to Mr. and Mrs. Francis, Mr. J. Brown of 20 Hanbury Road, North 17, Mr. James Andrews and Jean of 56 Turnpike Lane in London N5, and hello to Mrs. Albertine from Mitch, the steward. That's our very own little Mitchell, who hasn't bought me a cup of coffee this morning, but, you know, I don't worry about that. And I'd like to say hello to everybody in the office, in the London office, including Alan Keane, who's out here right now, Dennis, Eddie, Godfrey, Alison, Alex, Linda, Brenda, Jane, Pete Flanagan, Roger, Des. Have I left anybody out? I've left out, of course, Margaret, and, of course, our number one man, the man at the very top, Mr. Philip Birch. Thank you all for being so nice to me in the last 11 and a half months that I've been here on Radio London. It's been very nice knowing you, and I hope we'll continue to know each other, right? Eric Burden and the Animals in San Francisco night.
Beams create dreams. Walls move, minds do too. On a warm San Francisco night. Old child, young child, feel alright. On a warm San Francisco night. Angels sing.
I was very good in speaking to you from an office somewhere in South London. The office of Radio London. The reason I'm here is because Radio London's going off the air, and I'm very sad to say go off the air because it helped a lot of people in the music business, including me. It helped a lot of new groups to get off the ground, and helped a lot of new faces to get where they are today. And anyone who give as much help as they did, it's just sad to see them disappear, that's all. And it's just a pity, and I wish they weren't disappearing. And I hope there's something as good can take their place. I don't know, maybe there will be, maybe there won't be. But it's just sad to see it disappear.
Heavens above, he's on a street called love. When will they ever learn? Old cop, young cop, feel alright on a warm San Francisco night. The children are cool, they don't race cool. It's an American dream. Includes Indian too.
San Francisco Nights, Eric Burden and the Animals, and thank you very much for the lovely things you said about Radio London, Eric, and that record, I'm sure, will reach number one with no trouble at all. Well, it's 4 minutes before 12, and I think it's about time for me to leave you forever on Radio London anyway. My thanks to everybody on board the ship, all my fellow disc jockeys. If I read out the names now, I haven't got them written down. I'm bound to forget someone, so if I just say everybody, they'll all know who I mean. Everybody on board the ship, everybody in the office, and of course you, the listeners, for all the help you've given me over the last 11 and a half months. Would have liked to have made it a year, but, well, I suppose when the Postmaster General says, buzz off, you've got to do that, haven't you? By the way, we should be coming into London about 10 to 7 this evening, or 10 to 8, whichever train we manage to catch. So if you're around the Liverpool Street Station, we'd be very glad to see you. Might not be the last time, because if you want to see us again, we'll be around doing various disc nights, I suppose. Well, I will anyway. Those of you who want to see Radio London disc jockeys working, well, all you got to do is you got to dial telephone Mayfair 5361 and ask for Linda. She'll give you all the details. Might be a good idea if you got a black armband or a black tie or something. Why don't you wear it today? We're going to try and make some up here on the ship, and if that can be your way of protesting against the government's decision to close us down, well, I think it'd be a very good idea. Black armband or a black tie, anything, just so long as you show a protest. No violence, please. Well, as the last record, I thought I'd finish with this. The time by my Jawissa watch is 12 o'clock and 30 seconds. Jawissa, the famous Swiss-made 17-jeweled anti-magnetic wafer-thin golden watch. Elegantly styled with a leather strap and sweet second hand, you can be on time with the Jawissa. Just send a 75 shillings postal order or check to Peter Walker Mail Order Company, 143 Lee Street, Ilford, Essex. Every Jawissa watch carries a 6-month guarantee, and if you're not entirely satisfied, your money will be refunded. I'll repeat that address for you slowly. Send 75 shillings to Peter Walker Mail Order Company, 143 Lee Street, Ilford, Essex. Be on time with Jawissa. Damp and dull weather with heavy rain in places is forecast for most districts today. It'll be rather cool with strong winds reaching gale force in some exposed areas. Tomorrow's weather is expected to be changeable. And now, the final Ed Stewart Show. Hello, Myrtle.
Hello, Dale.
Goodbye, Myrtle. There he goes, Bunny Merrill, the lover, and I'm afraid that's going to be just about the penultimate time we're going to hear it on Radio London, but I know the weather's dull and damp and miserable, and it's rough out here about 4, 6, or 7, but let's get too despondent, shall we? Let's go into our first record in the Stewart, and this is my favorite one from the top 10 this week, Keith West and Excerpts from a Teenage Opera. Beautiful sounds from Keith West. Excerpts from a Teenage Opera. And let's hope that's going to be a big seller. So when you get the chance, go out and buy that one, because it deserves to go into the top 20 in the national charts. Keith West, Excerpts from a Teenage Opera. 6 minutes past 12 midday this Monday afternoon. Rough and damp and rainy and nasty and everything. But girls, let me remind you again to look out for Look cooking film when you go shopping at your Price Right stores this afternoon. Look lets you see when the meat's cooked, and you don't take it off for browning. And now that summer's really with us, well, when it gets sunny again anyway, use Look to cook your picnic chicken or wrap your sandwiches and keep your food fresh in the fridge. Can we say it again? Look is transparent. It lets you see what's what. Look out for Look in the blue and orange triangular pack. Ask at your nearest Price Right store.
Left alone and broken hearted. Girl, now
That's the way love is, and there goes Marvin Gaye, the 14 sound this week on Radio London.
Get the new idea in smoking. Come in on the move to Menthol Fresh Consulate. Consulate combines menthol freshness with rich Virginia tobacco and a firm white filter. Menthol Fresh. Cool, fresh Consulate. Cool as a mountain stream by Rothman of Pall Mall.
Hi there, this is Paul Ryan here. I'd like to say how sorry I am that Radio London is going off the air. I'm going to miss the show a lot. We listen to it on the radio when we're travelling, and it's a great pity, and we'd like to wish all the DJs the best of luck. I'd like to say also that it's a shame that Radio London has to leave the air, but it's one of those things, and I'd like to wish all the DJs the best of luck for the future. My little girl is so fine and so to know that she's all mine. We gotta let her tonight. Ain't I gonna wait, oh no, tonight.
Paul and Barry Ryan, and that's from Paul and Barry's first album on Radio London, and all around the place you can buy it. It's on Decca LK. Two of a kind, Paul and Barry, and Tonight's the Night. Right, you know, in answer to thousands of letters which we've received from you during the last few days, we produced a special 45 disc featuring some of the great highlights of Big L, so that you can hear the Radio London sound whenever you want in the months and years ahead. So get your Big L disc today by sending 12 and sixpence, that's all it is, 12 and 6, to Radio London, 17 Curzon Street, London, W1. All right, good. Well, on the Stewart Show, on our Stewart Show for some time, 13 minutes past 12 midday is the time. And it's the climber, too, coming up from Glen Weston.
Through the rain, you're gonna melt. Sugar, oh no. Come and sit here by the fire for a spell. Sugar, oh. Please take your shoes off and make yourself comfortable.
who has come down and done PAs for us, and all the groups who have played at these dances. I wish them all every success in the future.
Thank you very much, Cliff Richard. And the day I met Marie, 5 minutes to go before news time at 12:30 here in the Stewart Show. Another visitor to the studio is Mr. Stevie Winwood.
Hello, this is Stevie Winwood talking on behalf of Traffic. I'd just like to say what a shame it is and what a terrible pity that Radio London's going off the air after all these years, 3 years. Although I'll miss it as a means for promoting records, it's also a joy of doing something that people are going to listen to and people are going to hear, which is also going to be missing, and also that there are the times that I listen to Radio London, which is quite a bit, and I'm going to miss it too. And well, I just hope that, although I can't see it, but I can't see how, like, people are going to broadcast, or whoever's going to broadcast after Radio London goes off the air. I can't begin to imagine what that's going to be like, but anyway, I just think it's a terrible shame, and there's nothing any of us can do about it except just kick up a fuss, I suppose.
Looking at me from a bubblegum tree, and all the time you were the hole in my shoe, which was letting in water.
Vinegar, that's the taste for quick fried crisps, the taste to make you smack your lips. Salt and vinegar, the flavour you love best. Hit the grand old taste, the brand new white crisp, salt and vinegar crisps.
Hey, have you tried Smith's Salt and Vinegar Crisps yet? You haven't? You must be living in a cave.
Now it's here from Smith Crisps, the flavour you love best. Oh, salt and vinegar, Smith Salt and Vinegar Crisps.
And news next on London.
Juicy fruit adds to your fun. It's a hit with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet. Juicy fruit adds to your fun. Juicy fruit chewing gum.
Treat yourself to Juicy Fruit Chewing Gum and give your taste a joyride. Juicy Fruit's got a tingling, fresh fruit flavor that lasts mouth-wateringly longer. New, exciting Juicy Fruit Chewing Gum in the bright yellow packet, 6p.
Juicy fruit adds to your fun. It's a hit with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet. Juicy fruit adds to your fun. Juicy fruit chewing gum.
Take some with you wherever you go.
Wonderful Radio London. News around the clock.
Date on Monday, August the 14th, southwestern France, where earthquake tremors have been felt. One elderly woman is reported to have been killed in the village of Arret, which is on the Spanish border. 20 people were taken to hospital. Several of them have been seriously injured. The drunken driver. Home Secretary Roy Jenkins has issued a circular to the police force explaining a policeman's rights regarding the use of breathalyzer tests. Policemen cannot stop cars at random, but they can use the breathalyzer on any motorist involved in an accident. Motoring. It's reported that Minister of Power, Mr. March, is being approached by several leading oil companies who are trying to obtain permission to increase the price of petrol. It's likely to go up by tuppence or threepence a gallon. Broadcasting. It's almost certain that the Marine Offences Bill designed to stop offshore radio will come into force tomorrow. As a result, Radio London will be closing down at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Gatwick Airport. Trans-Global Airways are reducing some of their fares to North America next year. A flight leaving early in August and not coming back until September will cost only £37 return. And finally, the weather. Damp and dull weather with heavy rain in places is forecast for most districts today. It'll be rather cool with strong winds reaching gale force in some exposed areas. Tomorrow's weather is expected to be changeable. The next news on Radio London, 1:30. This is Paul Kay reporting.
Brother Nigel takes the stairs with the signs of the zodiac, ghosting in the mirror as he stands in his plastic bag. Sister Emma rises ever round and round the garden, spends the whole day saying, I beg your pardon. Oh my, it makes you want to cry. There's a house that Jack built, baby, and it reaches up to the sky. Uncle Joe cracks walnuts in between his toast and Mr. Collins glass after dark but come. And Mary, she believes that her mother was a queen. Keeps saying you just met King Solomon's jersey. Oh my, my. It makes you want to cry. This is the house that Jack built, baby, and it reaches up to the sky. Got a reservation, I was given it for free, 'cause I killed all the flies in the state of Tennessee. Oh my, it makes you want to cry. This is the house that Jack built, baby, and it reaches up to the sky.
out in the crowd. Smoke the British cigarette that's big with international travelers. Super King! Luxuriously longer than king size to smoke smoother. Not available in the UK, but almost everywhere else under the sun, including ships and duty-free shops.
Longer than king size, smoother than king size. Super King!
Stand out with Dumouriez Super King.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Squire. And 24 and a half minutes before 1 o'clock is the time here, and the final Stewart show for some time. Yes. And don't forget that we'll be catching the 5:25, we hope, this afternoon from Ipswich, getting into Liverpool Street at 10 to 7. And we'd like to see any of you who'd like to come along and say hi, and we can all cram into the Eastern Bar at Liverpool Street. Well, who knows? Yes. There goes Frankie Valli. And the Wonder Who, that Lonesome Road. That record, isn't it? Lonesome Road from Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, better known under their other title as The Wonder Who.
You fight
Women like natural men.
You're a natural.
And natural men use non-greasy Vitalis. Vitalis contains invisible V7 that keeps hair in place without grease. Use Vitalis. She feels your hair, not your hairdresser.
And if you'd like to show a sign of mute protest at the passing of Radio London today, then what you can do, well, wear a black tie or a black armband as you walk along. And if you're meeting us down Liverpool Street, then wear a black tie or armband down there, and this will be your sign of protest at the passing of Radio London at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Right now in the Stewart, we are at 21 before 1 o'clock.
It's fun with Big L.
This is Riss of the Chantels, and on behalf of Sandra, Jay, and myself, I would like to say how very sorry we are to see Radio London closed down. We feel it has given pleasure to so many people since it started. The DJs and all the staff have worked so hard to make it the tremendous success it has been. It has also helped so many people like ourselves since we started. And all we can say is a very big thank you to all our friends at Big L, and good luck to all the DJs and the staff.
Somehow this feeling I just can't explain. I know for sure that there's something about you, and I wonder,
Yes, indeed. There's something about you. Thank you, Riss, and all the Chantels, and lovely to have known you and played your records on Radio London. Best of luck for the future. In a few seconds' time, we'll be welcoming Hank, Marvin, and Bruce Walsh of the Shadows to the Stewart Show. But right now...
Children thirst for knowledge. Children love finding out. Children want their questions answered. Children need the famous Book of Knowledge. The English-produced 12-volume Book of Knowledge includes a full descriptive dictionary, classic children's stories, and in fact there's everything from anatomy to zoology, and it can be yours for as little as 10 shillings a week. With 40 pupils in a class, your child needs the extra help the Book of Knowledge will supply. For your child's sake and for the sake of your child's future, you must see this amazing up-to-date educational aid. For details, write to Schoolmaster, Radio London, 17 Curzon Street, London, West 1.
Sunny, well, yesterday my life filled with rain. Sunny, you smile at me, really ease the pain. Oh, the dark days are done, the bright days begin. My sunny one shines so sincere. Sunny one so true. I love you.
Don't use an Avis car if you like dirty ashtrays, or if you like waiting for ages for service, or if you like dirty, run-down cars. We say don't use them, but that's a bit unfair to you, because you couldn't if you tried. All Avis cars are new, clean, and well looked after. You're well looked after, too, at Avis. They're polite and thorough. Ring Mayfair 7811 and find out for yourself. Mayfair 7811.
Right, thank you very much indeed. Paul, 14 and a half minutes before 1 o'clock is the time on Radio London. You're listening to the final Stewart Show. At 1:30 we have the Juicy Food Spectacular, and then from 2 till 3 o'clock, our final hour on Radio London. But right now, I'd like to just have a little bit of nostalgia and remember about 18 months, 20 months ago, when we first started the School Spot. And when I did the 3 to 6 show on Radio London, it used to be the great thrill of the day, and it used to buck me up however low I might have been feeling for the other 1.5 hours. I always came to when we got to the School Spot. It was great fun, and I know many of you enjoyed having your schools put on the map. So let's have a little souvenir right now, shall we, of that? Oh, it's a glorious feeling. School's over for another day! It's our School Spot.
Hello there, this is Bruce Welch of the Shadows. I'd just like to say thank you for all the plugs we've had over the last 3 or 4 years. Good luck to all the staff and all the DJs. Thank you.
Yes, and of course our school spot theme was played by the Shadows. We'll be hearing from Hank in a minute. That's it.
Hello, this is Hank Marvin of the Shadows speaking at the end of an era. For many young up-and-coming artists, the end of a very good era, because in this time they've had their records played by your Radio London, and many of them, of course, have become stars and had hit records. And on behalf of all those, I'd like to thank you for all the plugs that everyone's had, and good luck in the future to everyone.
Put the school spot on a 5, 'cause 10 to 5's when I arrive.
Ben, my goodness, I'm alive.
It's school spot, school spot, school spot. When the jukebox sings a song, Scoos and dum-dum come along and say, "Good blimey, what is wrong?" It's school spot, school spot, school spot. School spot, most wonderful school spot. I love to listen to a monkey tune.
And when no Roman comes, I sing.
Well, say it again. Back the chorus. School spot, most wonderful school spot. I love to listen to a monkey tune. And when a Roman comes, I sing. Put the school spot on a 5, just in time when I arrive.
Then, oh boy, am I alive.
School spot, school spot, school spot. Oh boy, it makes me giggle every time I hear that one. There we go. Thanks, Kenny, for joining in on that. And that was the time, of course, when we changed the school spot from 4:45 to 5 o'clock. Anyway, you're all on holiday at the moment from school. Hope you're making the most of your holidays. Nice long ones this year. And right about now, or soon, you'll be getting the results to your O-levels. And I hope they're just what you expected. 8 out of 8 there. IDL scores again.
Yes, Radio London, one of the first stations in the country, in fact, possibly the first, to play this one by Strawberry Children. Love Year's Coming.
silly dog. Talk. I said talk.
I told you I don't say nothing until I have a John Cotton cigarillo. The revolutionary smoke that's 100% cigar tobacco, but not strong like a big cigar, and filter tip. And a 5 and 5 for 20, you can afford to hand him around.
Okay. Have a John Cotton cigarillo.
That's better. Now, what do you want to know?
When are you going to hand them around?
Oh, cheapskate, yes. Well, now you can do that with cigarillos, you see. Well, look... Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Alan Keane is just fooling around with the tape recorder behind me. If you just... I'll turn the pot down, mate. If you just go into rewind, because I don't want David Garrick to leap out of the spool, you see. Just put in a little rewind. Just twiddle the tape stand. That one there. That's it. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. There he's under stress at the moment. Whoops. Right, thank you very much. Now, Mum, I'm going to tell you about this for a couple of more times, further times before 3 o'clock, but I want the messages to get through, you see, before we go off the air, that you need Look transparent cooking film, because you can see right through Look, and it's great for wrapping sandwiches and keeping food fresh in the fridge. So use Look for roasting. It lets you see when the meat's cooked, and you don't take it off for browning. So look out for Look in the blue and orange triangular pack at your grocer, stationer, or hardware shop. Well, I'm going to press the little button now and just see what's happening. You don't reckon it's going to happen? All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll play this jingle then, and then I'll set it up in the meantime. 1, 2, 3, go!
Don't go out into the rain, you're gonna melt. Sugar, oh no. Come and sit here by the fire for a spell. Sugar, oh. Please take your shoes off and make yourself comfortable. The weather's miserable and you're so peaceable. It's getting late. Why don't you wait? It's after 1. We've just begun. We've gotta go. Oh no, no, no. Please don't go. Don't go out into the rain. You're gonna melt.
David Garrick speaking. I'd like to thank Radio London and all its staff for playing my records and helping me along in my career. I'm sorry to see Radio London go, but I'm sure through public opinion they will soon be back. Thanks again.
Why don't you wait? It's after 1. We've just begun. We've gotta go. Oh no, no, no. Please don't go. Don't go out into the rain. You're gonna melt. Sugar, oh no. Come and sit here by the fire for a spell. Sugar, oh. It's getting late. Why don't you wait? It's after 1. We've just begun. We've gotta go. Oh no, no, no. Be safe. La 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 la. Sugar, la la
There we go. David Garrick, the best of luck, mate, and glad to be able to play your records over Big L over the last couple of years. Right, it's just 3 minutes before 1 o'clock, and to take us most of the way up to the weather word, here's a record which came in over the weekend, and I was so pleased to receive it because I think this guy's a great artist. He deserves a great big hit. He's so good on stage, but as yet, well, not quite so successful with disc. Anyway, here's Gino, and Tell It Like It Is.
If you want something to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Oh yeah, baby, my time is too expensive, and I'm not just a little boy. Oh no. like it is, baby. You know, I want to be a lover boy.
Yes, thank you, Gino. Tell it like it is, and what a beautiful number, too, the old Aaron Neville hit. Well, that's brought the time up to 1 o'clock here on Radio London, and time for...
Here's yours truly with the weather.
Damp and dull weather with heavy rain in places is forecast for most districts today. It'll be rather cool with strong winds reaching gale force in exposed areas. Tomorrow's weather is expected to be changeable, so very little change. Right, thank you very much. Here in the Stewart Show, it's time for the small faces. Itchy Cooper from the Small Faces. Thank you very much indeed, Small Faces. 3 minutes past 1 o'clock, the time by my Joe Isser watch. And Joe Isser, the famous Swiss-made 17-jeweled anti-magnetic wafer-thin golden watch. Elegantly styled with a leather strap and sweet second hand, you can be on time with Joe Isser. Just send a 75-shilling postal order or check to Peter Walker Mail Order Company, 143 Leigh Street, spelled L-E-Y, Leigh Street, Ilford in Essex. Every Joe Isser watch carries a 6-month guarantee, and if you're not entirely satisfied, your money will be refunded. I'll repeat that address for you slowly this time. Send 75 shillings, £3.15 to Peter Walker Mail Order Company, 143 Leigh Street, Ilford, Essex. Be on time with Joe Isser.
London sound. Wonderful. Music means V-I-T-L.
Our next news broadcast coming up at 1:30 in just 26 minutes' time. Then we have the Duty Fruit Spectacular from 2 till 3 o'clock today, their final hour.
Charcoal burning everywhere. Rows of houses that are all the same, and no one seems to care. This is great, bright today, because the road is on blue. The green, he's so serene, he's got a seat in every room. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, here in Timberland. Mothers complain about how hard life is, and the kids just don't understand. A creature of comfort goes, they only know my soul, make it hard for you to see. I thought something strange, new places far away, I need a change of scenery. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, charcoal burning everywhere. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, here in Timberland. Another Pleasant Valley
And then they go the Monkeys for the last time on Radio London. That's their Pleasant Valley Sunday, 23. That's how they ended up in the chart. And that's being released, was it last Friday or this coming Friday? Anyway, you'll find it in the shops pretty shortly.
This summer, get away from the commonplace. Escape to the sun and Super King, the new British cigarette that's longer than king size.
Super King!
Longer to smoke smoother. You can't get them in Britain, but almost everywhere else under the sun. Also from aircraft, ships, and duty-free shops. Same price as king size, duty-free.
Longer than king size, smoother than king size. Super King!
Smoke longer than king size.
7 minutes past 1 o'clock, and time is slowly running away for us here on Radio London, because at 1:30 we have the Juicy Fruit Spectacular from 2 till 3 this afternoon, their final hour. Right now, I'd like to send a special message from all of us here on the ship and all of us in the Radio London office to Joanna Willett. Joe, if you're listening, darling, well, let's hope you we'll be seeing you very soon. Right again, around London. You'll be back to work and around the industry, and we'll be seeing you again. Yes? So, Joanna Willett, love from us all there. Mrs. Graham Bonney, thank you, baby.
For kisses and wishes that you shared with me, the things that you did show, how you cared for me the way every day when you'd say, I love to see you smile. Thank you, baby. Thoughts can be brought, but they ought to be shared with someone close. And I'm close to you. Look into my mind, and you'll find that the kind of a girl I need is you. Thank you.
Johnston wrote that one for Graham Bonney. Thank you, baby, and thank you to all you lovely girls and everybody out there for being our listeners over the last 2.5 years. And that's a special tribute song to you all. Thank you, baby, Graham Bonney.
Don't ruin your hair with messy grease.
Pure and natural.
Or make it dry and dull with water.
Keeps your hair in place all day.
Use Vitalis, the hairdressing that's clear, clean, and natural.
Use Vitalis, pure and natural. Keeps your hair in place all day.
Vitalis Secret. It's the only hairdressing with invisible V7.
That keeps your hair in place all day.
Do your hair a favor.
Hi, this is Uncle Willie Walker, and I'd just like to thank everyone with Big L for letting me have the opportunity to start in broadcasting. It's been a great fun, and I've enjoyed it. Unfortunately, we have to close. So if ever you see me in town in my Bermuda shorts, well, buy me a drink, will you? Preferably something cool.
All right, Willie. Right, thank you very much indeed. Willie Walker, 14 minutes past 1 o'clock is the time, and the Stones say to you all listening out there, we love you. Stones, a Big L exclusive. First heard around the world, We Love You, backed by Dandelion, but we'll be hearing Mick Jagger, by the way, talking in the final hour between 2 and 3, so if you want to hear Mick Jagger, be sure to stay tuned until 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Hey, you, peasant.
See?
We're looking for the leader of the smoking revolution. You seen him?
You mean the guy who talks about John Cotton cigarillos, the revolutionary smoke that's 100% cigar tobacco, but not strong like a big cigar, filter tipped, and a 5 and 5 for 20 you can afford to hand them around?
See?
No, I ain't seen him. Stupid counter-revolutionaries.
You don't treat me gentle like you used to do. Forgetting you, baby, is hard to do. It's hard to do. Guiding me to the rainbows, and you took me to a place I've never been. Then you turned away and you closed the door, leaving me alone like a wonderful memories, like canaries. I didn't think that this would play. I wanna go back there again. I wanna go back there again. Go back to the bridge I crossed. Go back to love I lost. Go back like it used to be. Go back, just you and me. Now you say it's over, and I know it's true. If it's really over, why did you, oh why did you? Why'd you take my hand and lead me on? Why'd you make me feel that I was wrong? One thought that I could really play the game, but it's me that's left here with all the pain. Riding high like never before. You built me up and then you slammed the door. I wanna go back there again. I wanna go back there again. Go back to the bridge I crossed. Go back to the love I lost. Go back like it used to be. Go back, just you and me.
There she goes. What a beautiful record for Truly Smith. I hope you're all going to pour out and buy that record because it deserves to be a hit. I want to go back there again from Truly Smith on Big L.
QT Quick Tanning Lotion.
You get a quick tan with QT, a double tan, you see.
It tans you anytime,
Rain or shine when you use QT.
QT Quick Tanning Lotion tans you in 3 to 5 hours with or without the sun. Apply QT tonight, wake up tomorrow with a gorgeous tan. Use QT in the sun, see your tan deepen.
You get a quicker tan, a double tan when you use QT.
Now available in England from all chemists and leading stores.
It's time to say goodbye from Radio London from Ian Damon. Well, I had only just a couple of months on Radio London, and I would like to say at this stage that how much I have enjoyed my stay on the Big L. Only sorry that I didn't come out a lot earlier, so that I could sort of give you a little bit of, shall we say, wombat-type music. Anyway, from me, Ian Damon, it's cheers and all the very, very best. Maybe we'll meet again someday. Don't know where, but don't know when either, for that matter. But we'll meet again anyway. I hope so anyway. But in the meantime and in between time, take very good care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Be good as you should. And cheers from Ian Damon. Bye-bye
Radio
now.
London is coming off the air, so here's your chance to own a piece of history, the Big L film. This standard 8mm home movie lasts for 5 minutes and features your favorite DJs in action in the Big L studios and where they eat and sleep. You can see all this and more in your own front room. All you have to do is to buy a copy. To go with the Big L film, Radio London are giving a soundtrack on disc which gives you some interesting information about all of us here on Galaxy. And the cost of the Big L film, with the disc and postage and packing, is only £2 12 shillings if you want it in color, or £1 10 shillings for black and white. However, if you're a Big L Super 8 fan, we want you to send an extra 10 shillings for your Super 8 print. Make sure of your copy today and the chance to share in history. Send your check or postal order to Big L Film, Radio London, 17 Curzon Street, London, West 1.
Oh boy, this is one we must play before we close at 3 o'clock this afternoon. One of the great timeless sounds of the year, coming from Stevie Wonder, 23 minutes past 1, I Was Made to Love Her.
I was born in Little Rock, had a childhood sweetheart. We were always hand in hand. I wore high-top shoes and silk Susie walked in pigtails. I knew I loved her even then. You know my papa disapproved it. My mama booed it. But I told them time and time again. Don't you know I was made to love from a world all around her? Yeah, hey, hey. She's been my inspiration, showed appreciation for the love I gave her through the years. Like the sweet magnolia tree, my love blossomed tenderly. My life grew sweeter through the years. I know that my baby loved me, my baby needs me. That's why we made it through the years. I was made to love, worship and adore her. Hey, hey, all through thick and thin, our love just poured in. 'Cause I love my baby, love my baby. I was made to love me, my baby needs me, and I know I ain't going nowhere. I was the hot to ticket in the love of me. Fever when you passing in. Oh, it's the lips of my tumbles. It's this whole world.
Oh boy, this is a bit I like when he really hits that top note. Stevie Wonder and I Was Made to Love Her. And now welcome to the microphone.
Hello, this is Ray Davis of the Kinks, and on behalf of the Kinks, I'd like to say I'm very sorry that Radio London is coming off the air. I'd like to thank everybody down there. I didn't get to meet everybody while they were on, but I'd like to say thank you very much for playing all of our records. And you never know, I might see you all again someday. And you never know, we might be listening to Radio London again. I'd like to say thank you very much. Thank you.
Till the end of the day, yeah, I get up and I see the sun up.
Ray Davis and the Kings till the end of the day.
Calling all swinging pussycats. Heading over to the continent, buy Du Maurier Super Kings, the swinging new British cigarette.
Super King!
It's the Ma. He's making eyes longer than king-size cigarettes. Smoke smoother, sweetheart. Export only, so buy them abroad on ships or duty-free shops.
Longer than king size, smoother than king size. Super King!
Longer than king-size Super King.
Well, it's time for me to say goodbye in the Stewart Show, because following the news with Paul Kay at 1:30, we'll be having the Juicy Fruit Spectacular and then their final hour. Both in the 3 to 6 time slot and in the 12 to 3 time slot. Well, I can't just express how much fun I've had, and I hope you've had fun with me as well, playing the music and listening to the terribly corny jokes. Anyway, it's bye for now. Hope to see you all later. Keep listening to your radios. We'll meet again. Side of town, our final record, and here's Buddy Merrill and Lover, our final theme.
This has been the Ed Stewart Show. News next on London, the time 1:30.
Wonderful Radio London. News around the clock.
Dateline Monday, August the 14th, southwest France. There have been more earth tremors, and children and old people have been evacuated from the Arrête area. Bulldozers are doing their best to sort out the debris of collapsed buildings. The tremors are reported to have been felt as far away as Bordeaux. The Congo, where a mob in Kinshasa ransacked the Belgian embassy there. Furniture was thrown out into the street and burnt on the pavement. An American who lives next to the embassy was beaten up by the mob. The riot is said to be in protest against the activities of white mercenaries in the Congo. Vietnam had reports of a series of air attacks by American aircraft on targets in North Vietnam that were only 10 miles from the border with China. President Johnson's critics in the States have used these raids to accuse him of warmongering and playing with fire. Uxbridge. Television personality Michael Miles pleaded guilty to charges of drunkenness at Heathrow Airport. When he appeared before the bench at Uxbridge, he was fined a total of £16. Cricket. And the weather has once again beaten both sides in the test match at Trent Bridge. There were large pools of water all over the pitch, and some of them were close to the wicket itself. However, it's not raining there at the moment, and the players took an early lunch. Finally, the weather. It'll continue dull and cool, although most of the rain has already fallen. Tonight will be cloudy, but mainly dry. Today's high of 18 degrees centigrade, 64 degrees Fahrenheit, will fall to 13 degrees centigrade, 55 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. There'll be fresh southerly winds, and there's an unsettled outlook for tomorrow. The next news on Radio London, the last ever at 2:30. This is Paul Kay reporting.
And now, Juicy Fruit present for the next 30 minutes some of the greatest and biggest record sellers over the past 2 years. But first, a theme I'm sure you're all familiar with. And for such a spectacular show, we have two very spectacular people. Your old friends, your regular Juicy Fruit DJ, Lee Peters, and our guest DJ, Tommy Vance.
Oh, boy, the Juicy Fruit Show never started like this before. Anyway, an intro like that makes it all worthwhile, just doesn't it? And we've got a great show with some of the greatest record sellers in the business and some great personalities, including... Don't tell me. Now, let me guess. That was, now, I guess, well, I think it was it John, Paul, George, and Ringo?
Oh, dear sir or madam, as the case may be, you've just won first prize in the Juicy Fruit Pick-Apart contest.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, and you can choose, between a tour of the Battersea Gas Works or an exciting course on how to tell the sheep from the goats from the sheep and the Shetland show in December. And incidentally, bring your own skis.
Oh, can't I just have a bright yellow packet of Juicy Fruit chewing gum? Why? Why? Because with that fruity flavor, your taste buds are really on a joyride.
No, keep the Juicy Fruit for after show. But right now, in the show, here's Tony Hatch.
Hello there, this is Tony Hatch. And it gives me a very great pleasure to be here on this show. And I want to introduce a song that not only did a lot for me, it's just one of those lucky things that happens to a writer, but did a lot too for a young lady who's a very good friend of mine, and we've worked together a lot, Miss Petula Clark. Now, you know the song, it's Downtown.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you. Downtown. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown.
Fabulous sound there, everybody, of a song that sold 1 million copies and more around the world. That, of course, was who else but Miss Petula Clark and a song called Downtown.
And here's something else that's been selling.
Juicy fruit adds to your fun. It's a with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet. Juicy fruit adds to your fun. Juicy fruit chewing gum.
Treat yourself to Juicy Fruit chewing gum and give your taste a joyride. Juicy Fruit's got a tingling, fresh fruit flavor that lasts mouth-wateringly longer. New, exciting Juicy Fruit chewing gum in the bright yellow packet, 6pence.
Juicy fruit adds to your fun. It's a hit with everyone. Fine fruit flavor, what a treat. Makes your mouth feel fresh and sweet. Juicy fruit adds to your fun. Juicy fruit chewing gum.
Take some with you wherever you go.
Well, here's something you don't know, Lee. I just sent out for some Juicy Fruit, and it should be here. Well, it should be here now. Oh, I see it's here. Well, next time, I swear, I'm going to do my own sound effects. You bruised your thumbs doing that. Ow! Come in. It's incidentally now time on the Juicy Fruit Show to listen to that famous Juicy Fruiter, Eric Burden.
Oh, Tommy, this is Eric Burden. I'd like to thank you for asking me along to the show. I'd like to play a record now which was a big part of me, and it's sort of part of my sort of small history of music, because it was the first record that got us any airtime anywhere and allowed us to go to America and see the things I wanted to see. And it's called House of the Rising Sun.